In the show, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Uncle Iroh once said, "If you look for the light, you will often find it. But if you look for the dark, that is all you ever see." My name is Rita Parker. The purpose of my speech today is to introduce myself with 3 objects that have significance in my life. The objects that I have with me are my work hat, favorite book, and old ID from clinical shadowing. My first item is my guard hat. I currently work at Flint Creek Water Park as a slide attendant, and my guard hat is one of the key parts of my uniform. Even though I only slide attend, it is still important for me to wear my visor because it draws me out of crowds and protects my face from getting sunburned. My visor is quite old compared to others, but I enjoy the vintage feel. This item is important to me because every time I wear it, I am reminded that I have entered into a new chapter in my life and started my first job. Now that I have told you about my work visor, I will now introduce my next item. My second item is my favorite book by Agatha Christie. The Mysterious Affair at Styles was not only Christie's debut novel, but also the first book to introduce Hercule Poirot, who is the star in many of her novels. This mystery consists of an elderly wealthy woman getting poisoned in her manor, an eccentric detective picking out clues left and right, and a twisting web of family secrets. This book pulled me in when I first read it and made me feel like I was at Styles' court, alongside the narrator, wondering what in the world is going on. This item is so important to me because it was one of the first books of Christie's that I read, and it caused me to fall in love with her writing style. This novel is one that I recommend to anyone in a reading slump because it is a classic of its genre. Since I have now introduced my work visor and favorite book, I will now show my final item. My final item is my old health science ID. In my junior year of high school, I began the second half of my CTE health program, Health Science 2. At first, we learned purely in the classroom, but whenever the second semester rolled around, we were thrown into the world of clinicals. My ID card was arguably the most important part of my uniform because the physicians that I shadowed would use it to grade me on my attitude, and in turn, that would affect my grade in class. Having such a huge responsibility to keep up with made me feel the weight of where I was at and excited me for my future in healthcare. Every time I look at this card, I am reminded of the cherished memories that I made, of the great healthcare workers I met, and the wonderful classmates I grew with. In conclusion, I have shown 3 unique objects that are special to me because they show different aspects of my life. Finding only 3 items to encompass my entire personality was hard, but I feel that my visor, favorite book, and health science ID show who I am. In the words of Marie Curie, that I strive to live up to, we must believe that we are gifted for something, and that this thing, at whatever cost, must be attained.